Welcome to part 2 of this interview series with Mat Siltala, my mentor and friend who has helped me get to where I am in digital marketing. In this part of the interview with Matt, we're going to talk about expectations a business can have when it comes to SEO and digital marketing. What's real, what's not real, and how soon things should happen. We're also going to talk about the essential things a business website needs to have in order to be the most successful, both design and digital marketing elements. And finally, Matt's going to discuss some must-have features a website has to have in order to be successful. One of the things I've seen with SEO is expectations, like helping a business establish good expectations. We talk about marketing channels. There's SEO is kind of vague. It's like there's local SEO, there's on-site, there's off-site, there's
technical.
technical, there's paid ads, which is sort of SEO. I mean, how do you help a business set realistic expectations for their marketing efforts?
Back in the day, I guess I would just used to tell people what they wanted to hear and make them feel very warm and fuzzy, and just I needed the business. I wanted to get the business. Oh yeah, we can make that happen. And the reality of it is you never really know if you can make that happen or not. But because it's, I'm not in control of Google. I mean, I know what I need to do to, for the most part, to help sites rank or be found. But I guess I would say the difference nowadays is I'm very open and upfront. Anything these days, people expect instant gratification. You know that. That's just not going to happen with SEO. And so I think helping set their expectations is key. Being open and transparent to how long results could take, but also share with them other things that can be done while they're building the fundamentals. Like you mentioned, these other things paid. You got the social paid. There's so many other avenues to help them drive traffic and get the exposure and get the branding and the networking that they can be doing while they're working on their SEO, and helping them understand that like this SEO it's a long play process. Like this is going to work well for you. I guess I got one of the better examples is there's a guy here locally in Arizona that when I first got here, this is like over 15 years ago, that I initially set up his page and the SEO and everything. And I kind of taught him the fundamentals, but there really hasn't been a whole lot done from that initial stuff that I did. And this was, over a decade ago, and he still is one of the top found persons for his industry. And I think that comes to just, he understood this was a long-term play. He understood when I first started getting into it and doing stuff for him that he wasn't going to see results overnight. And I mean, it probably took, 6 to 9 months before he was on the top of everything. But once he became, one of the top results, he's pretty much stayed there just with now, and again, I need to preface that with, just doing that and not ever touching your website again is not going to guarantee you're staying there. I taught him the fundamentals of what to do and things to change, and making sure he's keeping up on the trends and what people are searching for, and how people are they searching for different things as the town grows, as different things change on your website, adding content, anyway, things like that. But helping them understand that realistic expectations and how long things can be, and just being very transparent. I think that is the key in something like that.
It's funny you say that, because I wrote an article for a mentoring student about how to avoid Craigslist scams. This was like 10 years ago. And that article still is my number one most visited page, because it's stuck, and I don't even care. I mean, I haven't been on Craigslist for probably 10 years. So let's talk about websites. I mean, you built your first website back for the radio station. You kind of just were testing things out, it sounds like. Why is it so essential for a business to have a well-optimized and well-designed website?
It really is key. I have so many examples that I could jump into, but my wife has sent me, and this is, I laugh because she always yells at us marketers for things like, you guys ruined this website, or, she's always blaming us marketing people ruining Pinterest. And I ask her to do this because I want to know, because I'm always looking for case studies, but I'm like, when you come across sites that frustrate you to no end, send them to me and share with me why. And she's constantly doing that, but she's, whether it's leaving them immediately because they're not loading correctly, and again, it gets back to the technical part of it, or they are horrible to navigate. They come to a result that doesn't have the relevant information on that specific page that they're looking for. But it's just all those kind of things. And so she's always sending me those type of examples. And so again, it goes back to some of the stuff that we've talked about already, but making sure that you have everything set up in place, that you have, and again, it doesn't even have to be the most beautiful site. I mean, obviously the prettier it is, it doesn't have to be like all fancy and pretty. Is if it gives me the information I'm looking for and it loads quick, I'm going to stay there. You know what I mean? You know, when the optimization is done right, you're going to get the more qualified, well-deserved traffic that is much easier and ready to convert, I guess I should say.
Are there any specific like must-have features a website needs?
Yeah, they need to get to the point and grab people within those first few seconds, or people are moving on. The information definitely needs to be relevant to the search. You know how like before we would create a landing page or whatever and would stick a bunch of keywords to it and just hope that something sticks. If someone's searching for this and they go to this page and then hopefully they navigate through our website, those days are gone. You know, they need to, whatever they're searching and the page that you drive them to, it needs to be relevant. Obviously, things we've talked about, loading time, the technical SEO factors into it. The beautiful websites I talked about doesn't have to be the prettiest, but that does attract a lot of people and it makes people not afraid. Craigslist is the exception to that rule that people still go to it. But, a lot of times if you go to one of those ghetto websites, you're afraid to put your credit card information in them. You're like, I don't know, is this going to go out into the ether and am I going to get my information stolen? And so it needs to be, it needs to look like something that you can trust. And how do you do that? You accomplish it by having a decent design, having it technically set up correctly, having it load correctly, having it, provide you with that relevant information, and all the other ways to connect. Like, especially if I go to a website and I don't see that there's information on how to connect with someone or their contact information or things like that, it's another one of those driving factors, I guess, that would lead me away from them. But I think it's just more about, how it goes back to the technical stuff, but how I feel about it, how it loads, is it providing me the information that I need, and that kind of stuff.
So one thing I tell my clients a lot, because my background is in sales, is a website should work as a profitable salesperson, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How have you seen that in your career as a digital marketer?
Everybody loves or would want an employee that made you money while you're sleeping and that you don't have to think about or whatever, right? I mean, that's one of the things that I love about the digital side of things is I can be, whether I'm driving to, taking a road trip or getting on a plane or whatever, it's fun, especially when I had websites that were selling products. It would be fun, you go to bed or you take a long flight or a long drive or whatever, and you go back and you look at your sales and you're like, oh, I made money while I was sleeping, or I made money, or I made a sell, or I got a lead or whatever. That right there, to answer your question, when SEO is done correctly, you're getting that traffic and leads or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish on your website in your sleep, so to speak, or just not paying attention to it. But yeah, that's key. I mean, to me, that's beautiful. And that's the goal, right?
This is awesome, Matt. I really appreciate you being on this video today on our series. Again, I can't thank you enough for everything. I think about the last 20 years of my life have been influenced by you. You got me started.
You got the good part of that influence.
Yeah, the best parts of it for sure. Yeah, even the beard. I mean, my beard's trimmed up right now, but I haven't had it quite as long as yours. But I do the beard as well because I got nothing up here.
Any beard is a good beard.
That's right. So to finish up today, if listeners want to learn more about you, follow you, reach out to you, what's the best way to connect with you?
I mean, honestly, if they just search for my name on Google, they're going to have multiple ways to connect with me. I don't mind if anyone wants to reach out specifically. I can, you can probably have a link in the video, but this Mat, M-A-T, Siltala, S-I-L-T-A-L-A at Gmail. Feel free to use it. Let me know that you watched this video of Nate's, and so I can help sift through some of the spam that I'll get from it. But yeah, just whether they connect with me that way or just Googling my name, it's all there. I'm not hidden. So
yeah, you're a digital marketer. You know how to get out there.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Matt. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate all I've learned from you and continue to learn from you. And I hope to do this again in the near future.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Thank you for having me on, Nate.
In the first part of the interview, we talk about changes in digital marketing, trends Matt has seen, and how to get started with SEO. So make sure to go watch the first part of the video next.